So now let's talk about long-term care insurance. So what is this coverage? So basically this insurance covers cost to care for you if you have a chronic medical condition, disability, or a disorder such as Alzheimer's. So if you have longer term medical care needs, for example, for staying in a skilled nursing facility or having someone come to your home to give you care, this insurance is going to cover you. And why is this coverage important? Because as you get older, the majority of older people will need some kind of long-term care services. And so Medicare, which is what people over 65 have, it's the government sponsored healthcare, will cover short nursing home stays and limited amounts of home healthcare. However, further coverage from Medicare will only kick in once you've spent out of pocket and depleted most of your savings. So there's a means test to get extended long-term care with Medicare. And so if you don't have much in terms of assets or wealth, this may not matter getting this insurance. But if you wanted to maintain your kind of assets for your heirs, then getting this insurance will help you get the long-term care you may need and also preserve your assets. So it's that's kind of the situation. If you don't have that much money, then Medicare is going to cover you to some extent. And also, Medicare is probably not going to give you higher tier services. So, there's different kinds of skilled nursing facilities, for example. There are higher end ones that provide a more comfortable or more hands on, or, just a higher level of service, which Medicare probably won't cover. So this coverage could act, kind of as a means of providing you with the higher end services if that's what you wanted. Okay, so waiting too long to start this insurance coverage is a bad idea. And again, as I mentioned, especially if you want savings to pass on to heirs. And so why is this? Because you will not qualify for long-term care insurance if you already have a debilitating condition. So, it'll be too late once you kind of get ill or have a condition. So you need to start this insurance coverage sooner. And if you're over 75, insurer just may decline to offer you coverage at all because you'll be just kind of so close to end of life. It's not profitable for them to cover you. And just kind of as an estimate here, skilled care can cost close to 100K per year. And so even if you have savings and substantial savings, it can deplete very quickly if you aren't covered. And finally, let's talk about umbrella liability coverage. So though your homeowners, auto, and other types of insurance, so we kind of mentioned this, the homeowners insurance has, coverage for liability, and, depending on the policy, you'd have to see the details. And auto, you're required to have liability coverage for, damaged property and bodily damage for people that you may injure while driving. So, these policies have liability coverage. However, people with substantial assets, high net worth people, are those with high risk of facing lawsuit. For example, landlords, business owners. You may want to get additional liability insurance, which covers liability beyond the limits of your other policies. So this is umbrella insurance. So it's what's known as excess coverage. So whatever your homeowner policy, for example, doesn't cover, or your auto doesn't cover, then this umbrella liability policy will kick in. And so it covers injury, damage to property, legal judgments, personal liability for you and your family. So, for example, if your dog runs out and attacks your neighbor and they sue you for medical bills, this maybe won't be covered under your homeowner's insurance because it happened not on your property, but the umbrella policy could cover you. Let's say you cause a 10-car accident and your auto insurance limit won't cover all the losses. If your kid gets into a fight at school and injures another student, and the student's parents sue, maybe none of your other insurance is going to cover that, but the umbrella policy will kind of kick in at that point. So just to mention, these liability policies, homeowners and auto and this umbrella, they'll also pay for your legal defense. So that's important to know. It won't just pay if you kind of lose a lawsuit. It will actually pay for the lawyer to defend you too. So that's kind of a nice protection to have because lawyers are expensive, and the insurance company is actually incentivized to give you good representation because in the end they would be liable for the damages. So they want to make sure that the damages are as little as possible, and so them retaining an attorney to defend you is in their interest too. Okay, since this is an excess coverage, it is pretty affordable because again, it sits on top of other policies, which are basically the primary coverage for liability, and then this will just cover excess. So it's actually not super unaffordable, and it has like pretty high limits. You can get like $1 million, $2 million of coverage for this for umbrella liability insurance.